Hello friends and my dear students. I am Dr. Darwin Kaushal here and today I am going to teach you a very small topic which is nothing but sphenopalatine foramen anatomy. Now by name you are able to analyze sphenopalatine. That means something related with sphenoid bone and palatine bone. So this we are going to discuss with this skull bone. Clear? Please focus over this topic. This is very important for every endoscopic sinus surgeon when we operate inside nasal cavity, and particularly this is important when we describe it with relation to angiofibroma, because angiofibroma originates from this particular foramina and how it goes to involve pterygomaxillary fossa, fissure, infratemporal fossa. So this is a very small description important for you. So friends, let's discuss about anatomy of this sphenopalatine foramen. Now as you can see, this aspect of nasal cavity, these are nasal bones. This is frontonasal suture, you can see. Now moment we enter inside nasal cavity, you can see this major bone which is inferior turbinate, which is a separate bone. Now as we move towards base of skull, so can you orient yourself? So this is palate, right? This is a vomer, you can see, which forms posterior superior aspect of nasal septum. So this is remnant of a vomer. And as you come towards posterior aspect of a nasal cavity, we are able to see this foramen, which is nothing but sphenopalatine foramen. So let's discuss how this sphenopalatine foramen is formed. So dear friends, just to make you understand what I have done, you can see I have inserted a thread in sphenopalatine foramen. Now this will make you these boundaries very easy to understand. So when we talk about this sphenopalatine foramen, now split these words, sphenopalatine, that means sphenoid bone and palatine bone. So where it is present here. Now you see, if we see, I told you this is vomer. So this is nothing but horizontal process of vomer. So this is horizontal portion of vomer, number one contribution. You can see this foramen. Number two, these are pterygoid plates, and what is there, this bone is, this is root of pterygoid process which is from sphenoid bone, right? Now the third part, you can see what is this, palatine bone is coming, and this is perpendicular process of palatine bone, and this perpendicular process of palatine bone has got one, that is orbital process. Why orbital process? Because this is close to orbit, so you can see orbital process. And second is it has got sphenoidal process. Why? Because superiorly what we will be having is greater wing of sphenoid. So again I repeat, one bone is, that is horizontal portion of vomer, number one. Number two, we have root of pterygoid process which is from sphenoid bone. And number three, we have orbital and sphenoidal process of perpendicular plate of palatine bone. So friends, if I enumerate these three bones, number one, you remember palatine bone. Number two, pterygoid bone, root of pterygoid process from sphenoid bone. And number three, we have vomer. Clear? So this is all about contribution of all these three bones. So this is at a tri-junction of all these three important bones. When we talk about applied importance of this sphenopalatine foramen, remember, other than its landmark for sphenopalatine artery, this landmark should be known for each and every endoscopic sinus surgeon. But yes, other than this is very important site for origin of juvenile nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. So it arises from posterior superior aspect of sphenopalatine foramen and will grow here and will be entering into pterygopalatine fossa. So this is a very common mistake, that when I am pulling this thread, so after origin of this angiofibroma in sphenopalatine foramen, see, it is involving pterygopalatine fossa, and this is fissure. So this is for all my students and my friends, that angiofibroma will arise from posterior superior aspect of sphenopalatine foramen, then it will involve pterygopalatine fossa, and then pterygopalatine fissure. You can see fissure comes after fossa, and then finally this hole is infratemporal fossa. Friends, when we talk about what structures pass through this sphenopalatine foramen, you should see in this particular video that this is posterior aspect of a nasal cavity. You can see from this aspect, this is a posterior aspect of a nasal cavity. Can you see? Now this foramina connects posterior aspect of a nasal cavity with pterygopalatine fossa. So you can see this pterygopalatine fossa, which is behind posterior aspect of a maxilla and in front of this pterygoid root, right? So it will connect nasal cavity, I repeat, with pterygopalatine fossa. So friends, when we talk about extension of angiofibroma from this sphenopalatine foramen where it originates, so see, from sphenopalatine foramina it will be coming into pterygopalatine fossa. So this is pterygopalatine fossa, and then pterygomaxillary fissure, you can see, clear? Why? Because this is maxilla, this is pterygoid root, and then finally it will be coming into, after pterygomaxillary fissure, infratemporal fossa. So I repeat, sphenopalatine foramen here in lateral wall of nose, then pterygomaxillary fossa, then fissure, and then infratemporal fossa. And from this infratemporal fossa, it can come anteriorly, and sometimes we are able to palpate this nodular structures. That means nodular structures of this angiofibroma in a buccal pad of fat, right? So this is important, and this is how this angiofibroma extends. So from here also you can learn some boundaries of pterygomaxillary fossa. That is, if you see anterior boundary, it is nothing but posterior wall of maxilla. If you see anterior boundary, it is nothing but, can you appreciate this root of pterygoid process? And then superiorly we have greater wing of sphenoid. You can see other way around, greater wing of sphenoid, clear? So posterior, anterior. Superiorly, can you see it is opening through inferior orbital fissure into orbit. So superior, right? So this is how this angiofibroma originates from sphenopalatine foramen, and this is how it extends. So again, at the last, I repeat that there are three important bones which form sphenopalatine foramen. Number one, palatine bone. Number two, root of pterygoid process. And number three, horizontal part of vomer. So friends, this was all about sphenopalatine foramen and structures passing through it. I hope you must have liked this video, and in the next video I would be talking about all boundaries of pterygopalatine fossa and structures related to it. Thank you very much for seeing this video, and if you like this video, do subscribe our channel. Thank you.